And now everybody's obviously getting into the ETF game and looking at ways to expand and really kind of meet clients on where they want to be met in terms of how they consume our investment expertise.
Brandon, great to have you here at the NYSE studio at ETF Exchange in Las Vegas.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. So I want to start off by talking about the opportunities or trends that you're seeing in the market currently.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest trends which has been ongoing is this growth of active ETFs. And for us, we're a legacy mutual fund manager, been in the business for decades, growing mutual fund business assets. And now everybody's obviously getting into the ETF game and looking at ways to expand and really kind of meet clients on where they want to be met in terms of how they consume our investment expertise. So, my biggest trend that I've been seeing, and we're almost at $1 trillion in active ETF assets. It's been growing over the last almost 15 years. Interestingly, it looks to be kind of on the same run rate of where the passive world has been over the years. So the biggest trend for me is just more assets going into active ETFs. Most of the active managers, especially when you look at the top 20, 18 of the top 20 are in the ETF game at this point, is really what's going to come to investors are going to be a world of choices around new active ETFs. Some of them might be new in terms of ETF form, but might be decades old in mutual fund format. So it's this kind of confluence of, new wrappers, same strategies, plus some new strategies. We're seeing a lot of new strategies coming out as well around, I'll say the buffer products and the covered call strategies, but really bringing these legacy mutual fund strategies into the ETF wrapper, which then can benefit from the tax efficiency, the transparency, some of the cost savings, all the things that ETFs bring to the investment process will now be able to, kind of transfer over, passport over from these mutual fund strategies that we've been running for decades.
And how is your firm addressing these trends?
A legacy asset manager from a mutual fund perspective, we've been looking at, as we're launching ETFs, we've got these really core flagship products that we've had for forever that have 4 or 5-star mutual funds. We're now taking a look at that and saying, how do we efficiently move those over to the ETF wrapper, right? So we've been kind of launching strategies off of those flagship products. Some of them are, I'll say, close cousins or, similar strategy, similar strategies. Some of them are, much more closer than others to the mutual funds. But what we're really trying to do is just say, we've done a really good job building up a mutual fund franchise with clients who now want, I'll say, the 2.0, right? The ETFs are really kind of that 2.0. You can intraday pricing, things that investors tend to look at now. How do we take those mutual fund assets and turn them into ETFs? So that's how we're addressing it. And a lot of it is just, product development, getting those products out to market, and then, talking to investors about kind of the benefits, pros and cons between mutual funds and ETFs and what might fit them best.
And finally, Brandon, tell me, where should your investors go to learn more about your ETFs and your market views?
Federatedhermes.com. You can find all the information around our mutual funds and ETFs and anything that we have out there. We also have some great market commentary. We have a capital markets dashboard, kind of what's going on in the market around tariffs, inflation, interest rates, et cetera. Great place to go find information.
Great. Well, Brandon, great to talk with you. Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me today.